one of my friends worked for MCA, Eddie Green, and he came to me and said that Lawrence Barnett, the head of the band and act department, wanted me to come in as the vice president in charge of the band and act department. He was going to move to another job at the company. So I went to see Mr. Barnett, who was a wonderful man, and I thanked him for the offer, but I didn't want to go back to what I had done in the past. I wanted to do something I'd never done before. That was the adventure. And so I turned him down. So he went to Mr. Wasserman and told Mr. Wasserman. So Mr. Wasserman called me and asked me to come in and meet with him, which I did.
Was that the first time you'd met him?
First time I'd ever met him.
What was your impression of him at that time? What was your impression of him?
He's a tall man, a very good businessman, brisk, to the point, no wasting time. And he said, look, I know all about your background. I know all about your bad back. I know all of that. And I know you don't want to work here because you won't take the job that Mr. Barnett offered you. But if you'll come to work at MCA, we like to take adventures, people who are willing to take on new assignments. I can't pay you very much money because of what you've been making, but I'll give you $25,000 a year. But we're a company that pays bonuses. If you deliver, I don't know what your job's going to be, but when you get a job, we'll pay you a bonus that'll be much higher than your salary, and we will pay all of your medical bills for the next 3 years. And if anything happens in the next 2 years, we'll pay a year's salary. You can't work. So with that, I talked to my wife about it, and she said, I don't know if you can work for anybody after you've been working for yourself, but, the back is still a problem. Maybe you better do that to protect us. So I accepted a job at MCA, a no job.
What do you mean by that?
I had no assignment. So they take advantage of you. After a week or two, they had made a deal with the Shamrock Hotel in Houston, where McCarthy bought all these old movie stars and wanted to come in as entertainers. So I had to build an act for these old stars and as entertainers
Like
at the
who?
Shamrock Hotel.
Like who did you have to do that for?
John Bowles. He was what used to be with Yates he was so frightened to death he'd been a movie star and frightened to death to do anything live. And Jack Carson, who was the comic at Warner Brothers. And the two other acts that they bought were Dinah Shore and Phil Harris. I didn't have to teach Dinah Shore anything. And Phil and I were old buddies, so all he wanted me to do was pick the songs I wanted him to sing. And the deal that they were attracted to work the Shamrock, he hired them for 2 weeks. He gave them $10,000 the first week. The second week, he took the $10,000 and invested it in oil fields that he was going to find. That was the gimmick.
With or without their approval?
Oh, he was the expert. They didn't have anything to do with the approval of the oil fields. He had the right to explore and find it on his own. And their money was with him. He made it or he didn't. He didn't make it. So they didn't get that money.